I'm Neil from the Starling Tribune, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of the individual host. Check out all the other great podcasts at gonnageek.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. This is show number 144, discussing the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 premiere, The Ghost. This show is recorded on Wednesday, September 21st, 2016. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Daredevil Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage on Netflix and the general Marvel comic universe.
Because of the spectrum of security.
If you'd like to talk to us about ridiculous rainbows of security and lanyards, you can catch us on our website, legendsofshield.com. We have a voicemail line, 844-THE-BUS-1, 844-843-2871. We have a Facebook account, a Twitter account, Tumblr account. Just search for Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. We will be there. And on YouTube, you can find our live video broadcasts at youtube.com/GonnaGeek. And oh, by the way, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a proud member of the GonnaGeek.com network. This time on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to be giving away the RFID S.H.I.E.L.D. Squared wallet. We're going to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're going to be talking about your feedback, which includes the news this week and highlights from our live chat room on geeks.live. Before we go any further, I just have to say, normally our third co-host, Lauren, is with us. She's feeling a little under the weather this week, so we gave her the night off, didn't we, Haley?
Yeah, I think she's just slacking.
So you heard it here, folks. Agent Haley thinks Agent Lauren is slacking. But before we get into food fights between our two resident Marvel experts, we have a wonderful S.H.I.E.L.D. Squared wallet to give away, don't we, Haley?
Yes, we do. And those of you who may not remember, what you had to do to win this is let us know what you think the most ridiculous thing Tony Stark would spend his money on. And he would pull that money out of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Squared wallet, obviously. Yep.
That's right. So we had a lot of great entries into the contest over the past couple of weeks, and we have come up with our winner. Haley, who's our winner?
Well, with the entry of building a life model decoy of Bernard Stark, the prize goes to @Mr. Pericles.
Congratulations, @Mr. Pericles. Get me your address, get it to me on email, DM me on Twitter, whatever, and we will get you your wallet. And oh, by the way, we still don't know if it's a life model decoy or a live model decoy. So we would appreciate a little clarification still on that point. All right, since we gave away our wallet, we've got nothing better to do than to get into our main content. So here we go. Yes, SP fails at the soundboard yet again tonight, but that doesn't matter because we're talking about the great Season 4 premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Ghost. It was directed by Billy Gerhardt. Haley, have you heard of Billy Gerhardt before?
The name sounds familiar.
It should. He has 21 total directing credits going back to 2008 on such great shows as The Shield, 4 episodes of Torchwood, 1 episode of Justified, one of my favorite shows of all time, 10 episodes of Son of Anarchy, and if Lauren were here, she'd probably squeal at that, 1 episode of Jessica Jones, 6 episodes of The Walking Dead. I know our fair-feathered network owner, I guess he's fair-feathered network owner, Mr. Steven would like that. And 7 total episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is the 7th. He did Repairs, Nothing Personal, Ye Who Enter Here, Aftershocks, SOS Part 2, Absolution, which was the second to last episode last season, and The Ghost. And oh, by the way, he's also accomplished behind the camera, and he has 20 total credits going back to 1997, including an episode of Stargate Universe. So that is awesome. The writing crew for this episode is pretty accomplished itself. So first of all, we have Lauren Schmidt-Histrich, she has 8 total directing credits, including 3 of the Daredevil. You know what? I don't think she was. She was not. Sorry, folks. That is in the notes from last week. Let's reset that.
Nice job, director.
Yeah. So the writing team for this episode is incredibly accomplished, and they actually might know a thing or two about running a show. It is Jed Wheaton and Marissa Tankeron, and their IMDb's are smack the same. Imagine that for husband and wife. 10 total writing
credits. Almost like they're writing partners.
I know. It's great. That would be something. It comes up in interviews with them all the time. They're husband and wife. They go out and they work all day. Then they have to come home all day. It's like they spend an eternity together already. So 10 writing credits, 6 episodes of Dollhouse, 1 episode of Spartacus, Gods of the Arena, 1 episode of Axeman, which I just find hilarious because it's supposed to be a reality show. I have no idea what they were doing writing Axeman, especially these two. They might have been bored or something, or did it on a dare or something. This actually is their very first true Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. writing credits. Haley, do you believe that?
No.
It is. It is there. If you look at their IMDb, this is the sole episode that they're actually credited for a full writer. They were writing staff or story editor before it. This is their first writing credit. And oh, by the way, they also produced Spartacus, Gods of the Arena, Spartacus, War of the Damned, and they are the showrunners for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Haley, we start off our discussion every week on the episode about the meaning of the title, The Ghost. Tell us what the meaning of the ghost is.
Well, for me, there were 2 possible meanings. The first being Ghost Rider. That's the most obvious, I think, especially going into the season, just from what we'd seen in promotional material up to this point. But they didn't call him out by that name. And then the other possible reference for me was whatever the thing that came out of the box was, which was very ghost-like, but we'll have to find out later if, that's something mystical or maybe it's just another inhuman, and that's how her powers have manifested.
Yeah, so you had the Ghost Rider, Ghosts in the Box, and then May could be haunted by a ghost. Oh, by the way, I just want to point this out. Brett Dalton has been with the show since day one. This was the first episode totally without his character. We ain't seen him back. He blew up in a nuclear explosion. And I watched, by the way, Haley, I watched the season 3 finale right before I watched this last night live. And I watched the season 4 premiere live. I didn't watch the season 3 finale live. And I watched it on Netflix. And I was like, wow, it made a great transition. I'm glad I did that. So just want to say thank you again to Brett Dalton for being part of the show. Yes, we had issues with you over the years, but you ended it up on a bang. So thank you very much. Hats off to Brett Dalton. Now let's get to the status of S.H.I.E.L.D. What's the
real
status
quick before we get too far off this? Adam in the chat pointed out that the ghost could also be a reference to Daisy's guilt over Lincoln's death.
Ooh, nice call.
I think maybe more than one character being haunted by the ghosts of friends gone.
Right, and that was not the only mention, of course, with Simmons talking about friends that are still here, basically.
Yep.
Cool. So, Haley, what is exactly the status of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because as we left it, it was just a small organization, just a ragtag band, and now it looks like they're running the world.
Yeah, lots of new faces, new director. the president, Talbot told the president the location of the base, because up to this point, even the president didn't know where this base was. And now it's chock full of new government agents. Although I'm not sure if it is government, because they said something about it not ending up in government hands again or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was totally government run. I thought that Simmons had alluded to the fact that they were actually reporting to the government. I don't know. One of the new agents, by the way, named Nathan B. Nathanson. And it was so funny when Simmons was calling out his name. It was like she was scolding a little kid. Nathan B. Nathanson, you let those boys in.
I did not catch that. I heard her call him Nathanson.
Yeah, Nathan B. Nathanson is his name. That's what she was saying. That was awesome. So since he's named, we will definitely be seeing him later or hearing his name later. It's not just a name you throw out just to throw out. I mean, he's part of the crew now, whatever. All right. So owned by the government or not, there's lots of new agents. They're fully stocked. And oh, by the way, they're living the Sokovia Accords.
Well, yeah. They said, this is part of the universe now, is that these laws exist. So it's going to have an impact on the TV show.
It is. And it's not just an impact. They are like living it hard. They're going out trying to get all the powered people that haven't registered. I mean, they've had an interesting occurrence in Europe to start off, which we didn't see on camera, but they talked about it, which apparently wherever they were, what was Germany? Was it?
Where they were coming from?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but they got home by flying over the North Pole.
It's at 6 a.m. What are you going to have a drink at 6 a.m.? When we go over the pole? Flip 12 hours just by going to the pole. That would suck. Oh,
that does suck, because you just had a long, hard day and you're like, finally I can crack a beer. And then, nope, it's morning again. Time to start your day.
That's right. And he was looking forward to cracking that beer with that shotgun axe, too.
Yep.
Talking about shotgun axe and tricks up their sleeve, Coulson gets a X-ray hand.
And Mac is super jealous.
He is, but he got the exploding pen, so that's like Doctor Who. That's GoldenEye right there. So,
what, you never wanted one of these?
Of course I wanted an exploding pen. That would be so awesome. But if I had my choice, an X-ray hand's pretty cool. But Coulson does call Mac out on it later and said, hey, if you want an X-ray hand, you should have chopped your own hand off.
Yep.
Did you think that was there was a kind of a bitter voice in Coulson, or do you think that he was just matter of fact, hey, you want it, that's what you have to do?
No, I think that's just them being snarky with each other. They're bros now.
I guess. Coulson's always got the bro going on with somebody, and right now it is definitely Mac. And Mac, he was always kind of against S.H.I.E.L.D., but now he's full in. Is it because of the Sokovia Accords, you think?
Well, he came into S.H.I.E.L.D. after it was after the whole Hydra thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's his experience with S.H.I.E.L.D., is that it was full of bad people doing bad things, and he felt that it needed a little stronger hand to guide it. And actually, that's kind of what they've got now.
He didn't like powered people at all, though.
No, well, he had a bad experience.
Had a bad experience. So Mac is partnered with Coulson. Also, he apparently does not have a girlfriend with Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
What's going on with those two?
Well, they haven't fraternized yet, apparently, is the problem.
He won't ask her out for dinner. I mean, come on, dude. She's like throwing herself at you, literally.
Dude, the rules is the rules.
So leave S.H.I.E.L.D. He has got nothing keeping him to S.H.I.E.L.D. right now.
Daisy, I think that's why he's still there, because he wants to make sure that he and Coulson are the ones that bring in Daisy and not some cowboy that's going to shoot first and ask questions later.
Okay, that's a good point. Do you think they're actually trying to bring Daisy in, or do you think they're trying to look out for her, or both?
I think they're just trying to make sure she doesn't get hurt. Because if any other team goes after her, somebody's going to get hurt. and there's a good chance it will eventually be her.
So let's talk about Daisy. She's got a lot of things going on with her life. She blames herself for a lot of things. Lincoln, for one thing. Like I said, I just watched the season 3 finale. The breakup scene between her and Lincoln, where Lincoln powers her away with an electric charge as the Quinjet takes off into orbit with the nuclear weapon. She blames herself for not being on that plane, and Lincoln was on the plane. She should have been the one in the plane because of the visions that she had from the Inhuman giving her the visions before. So she blames herself. She wants to be alone. She wants no attachments. We get a little bit more explanation into Gothquake. And what do you think about Gothquake?
I think that's just the disguise that she's using right now. More than anything.
Just a disguise. Well, it's more than a disguise. I mean, she's acting alone. She doesn't want any attachments to anything. And she's being, for somebody that's alone, she's being effective. Oh, by the way, we get the van back. We get the van with the little Hawaiian dancing girl on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a different van, but she's got, her hula girl back.
She does. And she has that pivotal moment. We haven't really gotten there with the ghost yet, but she has that pivotal moment where she basically is redeemed. And something that happens earlier on in the episode where she's leaving that hotel and she leaves that stack of cash for the housekeeping.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of her thing now.
Right. Well, the point is she's trying to do good, and she is basically assessed as redeemed by the ghost layer. Okay, so we got to talk about the ghost. Let's talk about the entry scene with the shoulder-launched rocket hitting the car bouncing like 10 stories in the air, coming back down on its wheels like nothing hit it at all.
That was the one scene that I was like, oh, you didn't quite have the budget to do that scene, because you've got the car going, fire, and then it flips through the air and it's like video game graphics, and then it lands and it's mostly okay after that.
But you got to admit, with the video game graphics, they're closer than they ever were before. It wasn't like triangular faceted graphics or anything. It was actually pretty close.
It's just the surfaces. You could tell the lighting was off. The surfaces weren't quite doing what they were supposed to. That kind of thing. I
don't disagree. I'm just saying that this CGI on a routine TV budget is way above what used to be. And it wasn't the only CGI in the episode. We got the bus coming down a couple of times, both inside the S.H.I.E.L.D. hangar and out on a regular runway. So they did some CGI, and the ghost itself with the ghost's face. So what did you think about the ghost's face?
Oh, that part looked really cool.
So if they spent money on any of those, which they already had the bus, Zephyr 1, right. I'll call it the bus, but for new listeners.
And I would expect that one to look good, because that's a model that they're going to be using over and over again. So, of course, that one's going to be fine.
Right. So there was the Coulson's hand doing the X-ray thing, and there was Ada, I guess, whatever she was doing, and then the whole thing with Simmons with the virtual reality or whatever. If they were going to spend money on anything, I would have preferred them to prioritize Ghost Rider's face.
Well, yeah, and the thing with the with his hand that he does, well, that looks like a computer model. That's fine, because it's not showing true to life, and Simmons is in virtual reality. So if it doesn't look perfect, you can just be like, oh, the computer didn't render it well enough, because she's in a computer.
That's right. She was in a computer, although it was the exact same room that she was in. It was just shot 2 different times. Yep. So anyway, the ghost, I don't have a strong background in Ghost Rider. And we unfortunately, we were doing Daredevil all this summer. We didn't have a chance to do any of the Ghost Rider movies. We're going to have to do that at some point in time this season before it's out. Of course, we got Luke Cage, or as Lauren would say, Luke Cage, coming up in a week and a half. So we'll have to go through that as well. But if we could fit a Ghost Rider movie in, that would be great. So Haley, help me out with Ghost Rider. What are your normal motivations? Because is he Jekyll and Hyde? Is he good guy, bad guy, or is he just all like one same guy? But I had the sense that it was him.
I am not a Ghost Rider expert by any means. I know a little bit about him. So usually his origin is tied to some sort of deal with Mephisto. And Mephisto is the devil in the Marvel comic universe. And he's given these powers, and he has to collect souls for Mephisto to complete that contract that deal that he made. And he does that by going after bad guys, I think.
And all the people that he was going after were bad, quote unquote, bad in some way,
right.
shape, form, or other. Like one guy was a pedophile. I can't remember what the other ones was, but he always had something to talk about these guys, why
right.
he stood in judgment over them.
They deserved what they got. And when he was in a position to judge Daisy, he let her go because she's not a bad person. She just feels she has survivor's guilt. That's what her issue is. She hasn't really done anything bad. She just feels guilty.
Yeah, do it. I deserve it. And the ghost just turns away, doesn't do anything. Of course, she's still quaking the really big, heavy shelf that's coming at her.
Right.
So I just want to point out, Stephen in the chat mentioned something. He said, CGI was good, I thought, but the elongated skull was ugh. So we'll have to get more people's opinion that are more into Ghost Rider about what they thought of the graphics or not. Of course, we're going to see him next week because you didn't go away or anything. So that's what is going to happen. Let's transition back to S.H.I.E.L.D. with May training her. What do we want to call her squad? I wrote in the show notes Mini Mays, but that's...
Well, they called them the Strike Team. So, Strike Force May.
Okay, I'll go with that for now. Strike Force May makes better sense than Mini Mays for me. And if you're listening to this or watching this and you have a better name to call the Strike Force, if Lauren was here, I'm sure she'd have a name too. Let us know, but we'll just call it Strike Force May for now. So she's training Strike Force May, and they're actually pretty effective. They go in and they when they're backing up, okay, we'll call it backing up for now, but when they're backing up Coulson and Mac, they take care of business.
Yeah. They were trained by May to take things down, so they take things down.
Very fast, very efficiently, and they do it. And of course, let's talk about the ghosts in that whole scene. So we get to the end, and the guys at the beginning, they were supposed to be delivering this box or whatever. One of them looked into it and caused some deaths or whatever. I have no idea what those ghosts are.
I don't know.
They seem to inhabit somebody and cause them to go nuts. And
okay, was it ghost or was it one ghost? Because I just remember seeing the one girl, woman, whatever.
I didn't.
And then it seemed like she was influencing these people and affecting what they saw.
Oh, that could be it. Because she walked past May at the end, and then May started seeing Coulson as a ghost.
Coulson's face, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. It's just one. And okay, so in my mind, it could be one of two things. Either it's actually, a person's soul, a ghost, like, in every way that we understand a ghost. And they're going to tie it into Ghost Rider and Mephisto and that kind of stuff. Or it's an inhuman whose powers have manifested this way. And she was being kept in that box, contained. And now she's loose and free. I
do like the inhuman look view at it. That stays within the context of the show, at least. So, yeah. Right.
But I think they're going more mystical this season with Ghost Rider. So it could go either way.
Yeah. Or a combination of the two.
Maybe.
So May, though, things are not all hunky-dory back at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. As you said at the beginning intro there is this spectrum of security. And although the director is supposedly behind it, it seems a lot like Simmons to make this spectrum of security with the rainbow color of security. And May's not liking it at all.
Yeah, well, because now she's not almost in charge. Simmons outranks her.
Apparently, and May is feeling kind of small. And while they're having that conversation, by the way, Simmons was up on a level and May was down. So there was definitely
I just thought it's because Simmons was taller.
I know. I think she was up on a level.
Okay. But anyways, no, what she said was they switched to colors because the new director doesn't want anyone to feel less than. And she goes through the whole spiel, and then May's like, I feel less than.
Which, coming from May, is actually a big deal because May's not less than anybody, really. So that was cool. But then there's this whole dynamic with Simmons and just about everybody, including Fitz. She's taking lie detector tests because they're paranoid about the Hydra infiltration of S.H.I.E.L.D. You can't blame the director for it. Whoever the director is. I know we know who's playing the director, but we don't know who the director is. And as soon as we do, we'll change the intro of this because I know it says Director Coulson right now. But as soon as we find out, and I think that will be next week. Yeah, we'll find. Anyway, he doesn't like lying at all, so we'll see that. But Simmons is definitely driving a wedge between everybody at a time where they're all separated and segregated. They need something to bring them together.
Simmons is not driving a wedge. She's playing the part she has to play to get where she needs to be to make sure they're all protected. That's what she's doing.
But she's not helping matters.
If she like goes out of her way to funnel information to Coulson and Mac, or lets May slide on doing that, then she loses her position of power and she can't help them when it really matters.
I guess nobody likes it, though.
No, but did you see the look on May's face when she explained herself? May was like, my little baby's all grown up.
Yeah, that's right. Simmons, the science baby, or science boss, I guess, right? As Lauren tweeted last night. That's right. Science boss. All right.
Remember back when she was incapable of lying? And then they were going to send her into Hydra. And then she became like this awesome double agent. And now she's masterminding these spy missions all on her own. She's almost at the top level of infiltrating the biggest, baddest spy agency in the world.
Okay, I'll hand it to her there. But unfortunately, she causes other things to happen. But before we get to that, let's talk about some of the acronyms that were spewed out, because this was Acronym City. So first of all, what is Simmons' new position?
Well, she is Special Advisor to the Director in Science and Technology, or sadist.
Oh no, I gotta go see the sadist. I can see that.
And then one of the programs they have is Widespread Infiltration Monitoring Program, or WIMP.
Got a WIMP for the sadist. And of course, Fitz is working on the framework. And let's not forget Ada, which we have yet to talk about. But so Fitz goes to see Dr. Batty. Of course, it's Dr. Radcliffe, but we all call him Dr. Batty. And
I didn't remember his name. He's Batty in my notes.
They talk about Dr. Radcliffe a couple of times in the episode in case you didn't catch it. But so Dr. Batty, he, as we saw at the end of season 3, he's already got this Ada, and he knows that Simmons is not going to show up. And do you think he caused Ada to walk into the room naked?
I don't know. I think he masterminded that encounter a lot more than is first apparent, though.
Oh, definitely. And Fitz, he's dating Simmons. They're sleeping together in the same bed, and he's all wigged out about this woman naked in front of him. It's out of character for him.
No. I think it's that he is being the gentleman. You know, he's not supposed to look, so that's what's got him all flustered.
All right, well, just turn around and just say,
and he was also kind of caught off guard.
There's other ways to handle it. My point is, he was a little bit out of character there, and then, because he turned into a badass himself. You're talking about Simmons all growing up. We saw Fitz grow up last year, too. So he's all grown up, and to do that, I don't know, that's out of character. And then, for him to turn around and not want to tell S.H.I.E.L.D. about this, I mean, he's got to have warning bells going off in his head that Ada is not good. It's not a panacea. It's not... It needs to be turned over to S.H.I.E.L.D. I know Dr. Batty said, I don't know these people as S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't trust them.
Well, I think he's playing off of Fitz's fears, which is all these new people are running S.H.I.E.L.D. now. Fitz doesn't know them. Fitz doesn't trust them. So Dr. Radcliffe is manipulating Fitz's own fears as he's making the statement. And, he invited Simmons to come too, but I think he invited her knowing she wouldn't be able to make it.
Right.
So Fitz would be there alone seeing it, and he knew Fitz would protect Simmons by not telling her. So now he gets Fitz's help in improving Ada and getting her where he wants her to be, and he doesn't have to involve S.H.I.E.L.D., and he doesn't have that level of oversight. I think he's masterminding this whole situation, he's going to turn before the season's over.
Yes, I don't disagree 1 second on that. What I disagree in, I think Fitz is acting a little bit out of character. I think he knows that, because he was like, by the book, I need to do things right, or I've got a mission and I'm going to do it last year. His mission is now S.H.I.E.L.D. He needs to toe the S.H.I.E.L.D. line, and he is not. And I don't know.
I don't think he's been toe the line guy since like season 1. Ever since Ward threw him down to the bottom of the ocean and he had that whole brain damage situation, he's been a little more cowboy than that.
Oh, maybe, but I still think that it's not something, because nothing good is going to come out of this. He knows Dr. Batty's going to turn at some point in time.
He doesn't. I think he trusts him. I think he's taking him at face value right now. And we have seen that flaw in Fitz before, where he trusts people that he shouldn't.
Poor science baby. Oh, it's not going to end well. Maybe Dr. Batty will make him a sandwich. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Ada said the thing that would get him to help. She's not out to do damage or harm. Her role is to be a shield. And that's appealing to all the things that got Fitz and Simmons to join S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place, is they wanted to help people. They wanted to protect people. And remember, Fitz has lost friends in this fight at this point. So he's probably thinking, if we've got something like Ada around, next time we don't have to send an agent into a situation where they could die. We can send in something else instead.
True, because she would be the S.H.I.E.L.D., is what she said, as she was explaining herself, which she was programmed to do by Dr. Batty.
Right. I think Batty played that very well to manipulate all of Fitz's fears and all of his. I'm sure he feels some guilt for the people that they've lost at this point.
It's been a huge journey to get to this point over the past 3 years. Just in the S.H.I.E.L.D. universe, and that's not even the big universe that's out there as well, talking about Sokovia Accords, Civil War, and anything. By the way, I did buy my Civil War Blu-ray, and I had it on in the background, and I watched the commercials, and one was an Audi commercial, like, oh, we're so glad to have the latest and greatest Audis. I'm like, really? Okay, whatever floats your boat, whatever helps us get better movies, but I don't want that as a trailer on my Blu-ray. The trailer for Doctor Strange looked a little bit different to me. I don't know if that was a new trailer or not. Have you seen the trailer of Doctor Strange on?
I haven't got to watch anything from the Blu-ray yet. I got it, the day it released, and I took it out of the plastic, and it's been sitting on my coffee table since then.
Basically, I threw it in and then walked around while it was playing, and so I need to sit down and actually watch it. So
I want to go through like the special features and the commentaries and stuff like that,
Totally.
and rewatch the movie. I haven't seen it since it was in theaters, so
right, I haven't either. I just saw it once, so
maybe when we get done here.
Yeah, let's go do it right now.
All right,
so
podcast is over. Night, guys.
The only other note that I have that I want to state is I did catch the Ghost Rider's license plate, and I don't know if it means anything or not. It's 299ZXB. So if that means anything in the Marvel Universe, let me know. But that is definitely, they have to have had the plate made for it, so it has to mean something.
I can't think of anything.
It's got to be.
Nothing is coming to mind.
Something Ghost Rider related or whatever. So if you know, and you're listening to this, please, again, get a hold of us.
The closest I can get is to 299 would be the 2099 Marvel Universe. But even that, I think, is kind of a stretch. So
could be. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Do you have any other notes before you get to your quotes on the episode, Haley?
Oh,
I do. I'm sorry. I totally missed it. Everyone gets attached to something. Yo-Yo?
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So Yo-Yo brings up everybody gets attached to something, and then it perpetrates over and over.
Sky brings that up, I think. Or Daisy.
I think Yo-Yo brought it up to Daisy on the bus.
Daisy says it to her. Daisy says the one thing she doesn't want is something to be attached to.
And then Yo-Yo...
she repeats that a couple times.
Right. And Yo-Yo says everybody gets attached to something back to her.
Okay, I don't remember her saying that, but I do remember Sky saying that twice later in the episode.
Right. So then Sky picks it up, and she talks about that with the Ghost Rider, initially about the car, and then she tracks down Ghost Rider with the car, which the Challenger, and yes, between Fast and Furious and Dukes of Hazzard, there's not many of them left, that's for sure. But the original 70s version, by the way, I'm not talking about the newer versions. And then she finds out what Ghost Rider's weakness is.
Yeah. Well, he's got a younger brother who is in a wheelchair, of course he is, that he takes care of.
That's right. Do you know anybody that's been in a wheelchair lately on a television show?
No idea.
Superhero?
Don't know what you could be talking about.
What we're talking about, by the way, is Haley runs another podcast on the Gonna Geek Network called The Crimson Comet about The Flash. And we're talking about our buddy Ed from the bowling alley is in a wheelchair in season 1 in The Flash.
Right, but that's been a while. I thought you were talking about Felicity being in a wheelchair last season in Arrow.
Oh, so that would be another podcast on the Gonna Geek Network called The Starling Tribune about the CW show Arrow, which I'm a co-host for. So there you go. There's your network
Shameless
plugs. Yes.
And then, we see him with his brother, and they don't right out say it, but you get the sense that he is the one taking care of his brother, that his parents aren't around to do that.
That's right. So he's got that going on in addition to being Ghost Rider. All right. Anything else?
I'm looking real quick. I don't think so.
I mean, there's the whole definition about football versus American football. I mean, they had that little joke going on.
Those are football teams. I don't think they are. Okay, no, I've got nothing left but quotes.
Let's do the quotes.
There's only so many times a guy can win cash off you.
Coulson's got a bottomless wallet. It must be the S.H.I.E.L.D. squared wallet.
That must be it. They say when the rider burns you, he burns your soul, and the soul can never heal.
That's right. Whoa, that was deep. And I took the blood coming out like as burnt blood because it was really deep, dark red, but it doesn't matter. It was just a wound that wouldn't heal.
Oh, we haven't fraternized anything yet.
The sexual tension between those two on board Zephyr 1 was definitely there. Can't wait for that. What do we call the Mac Yo-Yo ship? Did we come up with a name for that?
Mac Yo? I don't know.
Yo Mac? Something like that. We'll have to have Lauren here. She's the shipper, and she will tell us. She will correct us in the shipping name.
I prefer to move fast.
That's right. And that was something that was interesting because while they were in Zephyr 1, she got the drugs for Jay-Z during that scene. And I don't know when it happened, but it had to have happened at some point there.
Well, yeah, because she can move super fast. Yep. Oh, we didn't talk about that, but Daisy is starting to have a lot of negative effects from using her powers right now. They showed the bruises several times, her, gripping her hand. She got the pills from Slingshot.
That is the thing with Quake in the comics, from what I understand, is that when she uses her powers, it can destroy her own body. And that's why she's got the gauntlets over her wrists and stuff.
Right. Which they haven't really, when she first started having her powers and she was internalizing that power to prevent it going out, she was having those sorts of injuries. But they had shown her mostly having that under control up till this point.
And now it's starting to break down, which ultimately could be what brings her in, where she needs medical attention from Simmons or something.
Yep. You want tech like this? You should have cut off your own hand.
Yeah, we talked about that. It was funny and it was not funny all at the same time. So I guess well written.
And that's it.
All
Everyone's attached to something.
That's right. So next week we have episode 2 of season 4, It is called Meet the New Boss, and we will be meeting.
Didn't this episode feel like it just kind of ended? Like it was supposed to be a 2-hour premiere, and they just cut it off somewhere towards the middle.
Yeah, I did feel a little bit like that, but even the 2-hour premieres are cut off in the middle so that when they air an hour later, like in syndication or whatever, you can break it off in the hour. So, yeah, I could see that where they thought they were going to have 2 hours, but when you've got Dancing with the Stars on right before.
Right, we can't wait a week for that.
No, we need to have that done. And to be honest with you, that opening scene would not have worked at 9. It needed to be at 10 with the blood splattering and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we see.
Yeah, I think we did see a lot more blood this episode than we have in the past.
We have, and it started with the first scene, so you just can't have that scene at 9 o'clock.
And I think that's going to be continuing throughout this season with Ghost Rider as, I don't know, the hero, anti-hero, whatever role they're going to have him playing. There's going to be some blood.
There's definitely going to be. So thank you very much for sticking with us. We're going to get to some news and feedback. So this week we decided to consolidate our news and feedback since so many people actually sent us in great news stories. So we're going to run down some of the Twitter hits that we had. And the first one was from Andy Migna. That's at Andy Migna. And he said, I raised 2 episodes. So the 5th. So what he's talking about last episode is, or 2 episodes ago, we talked about how long it was going to be until Daisy comes back to be part of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I believe both Lauren and Haley said the mid-season finale, which was like, what, episode 8, 9, 10, something like that. And I
10
said,
or 11. I don't know exactly when it is, but yeah.
And I said episode 5 was going to be it. So Andy is right there with me. Andy, we're 5 bros. So here's 5. Here you go. There's your 5. So thank you very much.
I believe I also said that I thought she would work with the team before rejoining the team. Rejoining S.H.I.E.L.D.
I could see that. And she's doing wonderful work on her own because her hacking skills and everything else. So definitely could see that. So what else we got, Haley?
Well, the next one's also from Andy. He shared a short featurette for Doctor Strange. It's got apparently a few seconds of new footage that we haven't seen yet. So for those that are dying to see some more Doctor Strange, they should check out the links in the show notes.
Definitely. And talking about links in the show notes, at Born to Eat Bacon shared with us a wonderful retweet from Clark Gregg saying she's got going on, basically. And it was from Migna. And it was Migna. I don't know if it was just a set photo or her actual photo for the season, but she is definitely suited up, ready to kick some A. And she's looking, she's got her little gun shown, the holster of the gun shown at the bottom of the picture. Wonderful patch, by the way. The patch is really bright and white, not hiding in the shadows anymore. And it's got stars around it on the sleeve too. So I like the May look this year.
All right. The next thing we've got in here was also from Andy. He shared a new trailer for Chicken Egg starring Nikolai Coster-Waldau and Haley Atwell. And it's a lovely little YouTube video that you can check out.
And it was producer directed. I think it was directed by James Darcy. So we've got our wonderful Jarvis.
Peggy and Jarvis are together again.
Yes, just in a different form. Christy, it's been a while since we heard from Christy. Thank you very much for hitting us up at Adana Girl. She tweeted us this great picture, which I'm not sure exactly where it's from. It looks like it could be from a video game or some sort of online cartoon or something. But it's basically Iron Man facing Quake. And Christy's caption is, "Aw, Tony fixed Daisy's dorm so she doesn't shake it down. Plus, he left her a cheese plate." And what is Tony saying? "Hey, I retrofitted your dorm with vibranium girders. Should hopefully stand up to any amount of shaking. And I left you a cheese plate. So hopefully you have crackers."
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you very much, Christy, for sharing that with us.
And then the next bit is from Consultant Black Adam. He shared a picture. Well, first of all, he said, "Time to reorganize my display case," and then shared a picture of his newest Funko Pops, Agent Daisy Johnson and Captain Marvel.
Looking good there, sir. Talking about little trinkets and toys from the S.H.I.E.L.D. universe or cosplay or whatever you want to call it, at Born to Eat Bacon tweeted us and he said, "Attention agents, season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts tonight. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., will you be watching? Will you?" Of course we watched. We all watched live, it sounds like. And the picture he had was a little figurine of Coulson, a little figurine of May, and his S.H.I.E.L.D. badge behind that. So thank you very much for sharing that with us at Born to Eat Bacon.
All right. The next little bit of news we got from at Kodiak GWC. He said, shared a link from ScreenGeek.net that said Mephisto is confirmed to be appearing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He said, "I can see him popping up in Doctor Strange, not so much the Defenders or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I honestly think with the way that this season is going that he might show up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then that might be their kind of weak tie to Doctor Strange, is that they'll have this minor character appear in both."
Right. So we'll see. I don't know much about Mephisto. I don't know much about Ghost Rider. I'm excited to learn more about it. And if you're excited too, let me know. And if you are an expert on Ghost Rider, let us know, and we would love to have you on. Moving on, at Kodiak GWC tweeted us, and he said, "Green Lantern, he is not." Well, what is he talking about? I like Green Lantern. I get both the Green Lanterns and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps on the DC side in my pull list. Well, what he's talking about is an IO9 story that they ran about the Black Panther CGI outfit in Civil War. And basically the article leads off and says, "Thanks to Green Lantern, we're all conditioned to panic at the thought of a superhero character having an entirely computer generated outfit," which, by the way, Deadpool referenced earlier on this year. Yeah, that's still this year, right? Deadpool was February 2016, right?
February, yeah.
Yep.
Valentine's Day.
2016. After all, it was so infamously bad, they made a joke out of it in Deadpool. Yes, the very next line there.
They made a lot of jokes about it.
Yeah, but technology has come a long way, and every single time we saw Black Panther on screen in Captain America's Civil War, the suit was animated, and it did look great. I mean, I actually didn't know it was animated. It looked kind of real to me, but I am glad to see that they pulled it off.
So it looks like Andy did a little live tweeting last night, and he said, "Whoa, Simmons giving May an order. They grow up so fast."
They do. That was awesome with Simmons like that. She is definitely in full swing. You know, remember the head of the Science Academy, the agent that was in charge? Simmons is reminding me of where that agent was at the beginning of the series. In terms of authority, in terms of character development, stuff like that, poise.
I think by the end of the season, she might be running S.H.I.E.L.D.
That'd be awesome. Director Simmons.
Yep. Director Science, baby.
I would still like to have Director Hill back, honestly, or
I don't think it's going to happen.
I know. Sharon Carter. I'd like to have either of those. It's not going to happen, so we're just going to have to deal with it. And
Sharon Carter at this point is agent love interest.
I'm okay with that as long as I'm the love interest.
Good luck with that.
Oh, by the way, I'm taking a work sabbatical. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt broke up, so I'm going to go out to LA and spend some time with Angelina Jolie and the kids.
Okay.
And the last tweet that came to us was at Andy Migna. Wow, Andy, you really were very interactive with us this past week. Thank you very much. Anyway, he said, "Gratitude for Juno's breasts, even though they were even though they scared unprepared fits." Yeah. And honestly, Andy, we didn't see them. I mean, unless you saw them in a different rated version.
Broadcast television.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's over in Europe, so I don't know what they broadcast over there.
It's true.
Yeah.
They've got different standards.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Andy. Thank you very much, everybody that tweeted us. We really appreciate that. And we hope you enjoyed your feedback. So talking about feedback, we actually got Adam back with a voicemail. You ready to listen to Adam?
Let's do it.
Hey guys, it's Adam calling in with feedback on the season premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And this episode was a bit slow, mostly to set up the sort of news status quo before everything goes wrong and shakes it all up. I suppose with S.H.I.E.L.D. being reconstituted, and by the way, having the base and Zephyr 1 so crowded just felt wrong, but having the team split up and each heading their own department or team kind of makes sense, but at the same time, you'd think you'd want to leverage having an experienced team for the kind of stuff they were doing back in season 1, just sort of getting the initial lay of the land in various situations. But I guess that's kind of what Coulson and Mac are doing. I didn't really expect that Daisy would still have her suit, but they were obviously going to keep using it at some point because it's too good of a costume not to use, and the Funko of it just came out. Well, not really sure what to think so far. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you very much, Adam, for that great voicemail. Adam always sends in a voicemail immediately after the episode, so that is raw reaction. Haley, what do you have to say about it?
I will just say one thing in contradiction to Adam. They made a point of saying this new director, for whatever reason, is scared of or doesn't trust the Coulson's team, and he wanted to keep them separated so that they couldn't work together to overthrow him, I guess.
Right. He did bring up the fact that the reason that Coulson's team was put together by Fury way back when was to be kind of outside of the mainstream and whatever, and that Adam was missing that aspect of season 1 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which maybe we'll get there again.
Yeah. And maybe we'll get the bus back. That'd be cool to have an actual bus back versus the Zephyr 1. Although I like Zephyr 1. I just like to call it the bus.
I honestly can't tell the difference.
What was a knockoff of a C-17? This is an entirely new design all on its own.
I'm the kind of person that looks at cars and I'm like, yep, that is definitely a car.
And you're an engineer. Oh, go figure.
Not that kind of engineer.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your feedback this week. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this episode and next week's episode. We record live Wednesday nights every week. Let's walk this one out. Join us next week as we discuss the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 2, Meet the New Boss. Just a reminder, you can find all of our live streams in the network at www.geeks.live. We do have the website, legendsofshield.com. Our voicemail is 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871. We have the Facebook account. You can message us there. You can post on our page there. We have a Twitter account. You can always tweet us at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Lauren, by the way, live tweets the episode live on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. What is that?
9 Central.
9 Central, but what are you? You're Pacific, so it's...
Yeah, but I have a different broadcast.
Oh, that's right. They do
so
the
if you're in the East Coast or Central Time Zone, you can watch live with Lauren.
That's right. So, and we also have a Tumblr account, and don't forget, you can catch our YouTube videos at youtube.com/GonnaGeek. Thank you very much for downloading this podcast. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. Thank you for catching our live streams on Facebook Live, on Spreaker. We really appreciate you listening to us, and more importantly, interacting with us and sending us your feedback and stuff. That's what makes this fun, is to have fun with that. And stay tuned. Next week, we will have something new, which I'm just going to leave it there. There's a reason to tune in next week. So tune in next week and find out what it is.
Yeah, so thank you everyone that's in the chat right now participating with us. Thank you to Adam for sending in your voicemails. Those are always great. Anybody can send us a voicemail, and it gives us someone to talk to and actually hear your voices so we don't just hear us over and over again. Thank you to everyone that live tweets with Lauren. She really appreciates that. And congratulations to Mr. Paracletes for winning the S.H.I.E.L.D. Squared wallet. Stay tuned. There may be more giveaways in the future. And even when we're not doing a giveaway, we appreciate all the feedback we get from you guys.
We definitely do. So thank you very much for that. We do have some exciting giveaways to go on this fall, one of which I've been actually holding on to for a few months. And somebody, an individual that is listening to this, you know who you are. Thank you very much. And it is safely tucked away to give away. I can't wait to do that. All right. That's it for tonight. Until next time, I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
And I'm Director Haley.
Oh, two directors. Well, I'm the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. What are you, the Director of AIM?
I'm the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We'll see you next week. Bye, folks.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to gonnageek.com and you will find all of our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Legends, Stream, or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation. No infringement is intended.